Hello folks, in this video we will learn about arguably the most important React hook, the useEffect hook. So in a previous video, we have learned about the useState hook and build this counter app. So in this video, we will use the useEffect hook and we will add local storage to this counter. If you want to learn about local storage, you can refer to this video. So now let's get started. Let's see first how to use the useEffect hook. So I will simply write over here useEffect and I can write this. So now we will discuss about the different parts of the useEffect hook later. First of all, let's try to console log something over here. Let's console log count. So now we have 0 and 0. Now when we click on minus, we can see that we are printing the console logs. So what is happening over here? So this useEffect hook is running every time the component is changing. So whenever we are changing the plus and anything, the component is getting re-rendered and this useEffect hook is getting triggered. However, we can change it in a way. We can keep an empty array over here. And now let's click on refresh, and when we click on minus, we see nothing is being changed. And that is because how the useEffect hook works is it is checking in this empty array. If this array is getting changed, then it will trigger the useEffect hook. Otherwise, the useEffect hook will be triggered only once. So right now it is printing 0 and 0, and then it is not doing anything. So in place of an empty array, I can here write 1. And also nothing will change. So I only got 1 minus 2. Yeah, when I refresh, nothing is changing. And that is because this 1 is not changing over time. However, in place of 1, here we can keep something which is changing over time, and then the useEffect hook will getting triggered every time. So here we can keep count. So whenever we are clicking on minus and plus, the count is getting changed, and that is how the useEffect hook will get triggered every time. So let me refresh, and when we click on minus, and now what we see, okay, we need to save first. Now when we click on plus, we can see that we are getting the different numbers. And that is because this count value is changing, and that is this array is changing, and that is why the useEffect hook is getting triggered every time. So that is how in basics the useEffect hook works. It is a way to trigger side effects in a React render. So this useEffect, you can consider it to be a side effect. The effect is a set count when the count is changing and the value of the count is changing in the app. And this useEffect is a side effect that we are console logging the count. But now the question is, how can we use it for something useful? And that is what we will see right now. So let's say now when we refresh the app, it is getting set to default 0. However, what we want to do is set the value of the count in local storage. And when we refresh the app, so let's say we refresh the app now, we want 6 to be present here instead of 0. So how can we do that? And in that case, we can use useEffect. So let's see how we can do that. So first of all, I will create one variable called initial count, and let me set that to localStorage dot get item, and here I will set one key. Let's name the key as counter. So now this initial count will be set to one key in the local storage called counter, but this is not yet set. So where we will set that? We will set that inside the useEffect, and here we can simply write localStorage dot set item, and now we have to write a key value pair. The key is counter and the value is count. Now let's console log this localStorage dot set item, this whole thing. We cannot console log this one because this is setting it. So let's console log only count, and we have already checked that we are getting the count every time. So this is getting 1 2 3 4 every time. So every time this count value is getting set into the local storage, and this same count value, it is getting called over here. So if I console log this initial count, let's see what comes. Let's keep it initial count, and when we restart, we see that we are getting the value of 10. So it is correct that the initial count is getting the value of 10. Now only thing we need to do is instead of 0, we can keep here the initial count. And so now when we refresh, right now it is 0, but okay, there is another issue, and that is the value is setting it as string. So instead of local storage, I will give it number of and then localStorage.get item. So now let me refresh, and as you can see, the value is being set to this value. And so now when we click on minus, it is decreasing by 1. When we click on plus, it is increasing by 1. And we can see that the local storage is working fine. Let's reset it to 0 once. And now let's change it back. So now let me improve the value to 8 and 9. And when we refresh, we are seeing 9 over here. So yeah, that is how the side effect is actually allowing us to get the local storage value. So every time the count is changing, it will trigger the use effect. We will set the item to counter, the count value into the counter, and every time the component is getting re-rendered, it will get the value in the initial count, and the same value it will put in initial count. So instead of 0, we can put initial count, and we are getting the counter app with local storage. So that is the use of use effect in brief. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.